And I said, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But we need to still check it because it was on yesterday and it ran okay, but it's on still today and it's not running okay. Now, you may have a code that's why it's been on for a year.
Right.
That has no effect on the way the car drives. In other words, one of the big thing is gas cap stuff.
Yes.
These gas caps.
And that's a vacuum issue, right?
No, it's not a vacuum.
Really?
It's okay. So it's part of the evap system. Okay. So you know how when you pour gasoline on the ground and you see all the vapors?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this system monitors and traps and filters the vapors of the gas.
So you don't get static electricity in your car blow up when you gas it up.
No, it's actually just part of the emissions control.
Okay.
Okay. So, but that system has no bearing whatsoever on how the car runs.
No.
Okay, none. But so a lot of times people come in and they have an evap code, a leak, a small leak, a large leak, a gas cap. Okay, and they know that it doesn't affect the way the car drives, so they just like, I don't care, it's fine. Okay, and that's fine that they don't care. That doesn't bother me. But now something's going on. Now it's running funny, it's stalling, it's hesitating, whatever. And I still have to go in there because now you had that code, that PO346, which is an evap leak. But now you have another issue. And now I got to look at that other issue. There's something going on. So even though your check engine light's been on, and now today we're having a drivability problem, always go first to the check engine light.
Well, recently, in the last 2 weeks, my fiance, experienced a loud bang, smoke billowing out of the back of the tailpipe, but the car rode fine. After the loud bang and everything, the car rode fine. But she milked it back to the house. She didn't want to drive it. Got it to the guy she uses as her mechanic. She some guy that's in her B&I. Used it, went to him. There was a sensor that went out that caused the PCV valve or PCV, I guess, valve to remain open. And it was putting oil in their spark plugs.
Yeah. Yep.
And all that came on was check engine light.
Right.
And a loud bang, a backfire with smoke.
Right, and that's probably when the valve
I'm sure
went defective.
But afterwards, it drove fine. After the loud bang and everything, she was 140 miles from home. She drove it back. It drove fine. She was doing 75 on the interstate. It just was smoking.
Right. So it's smoking because it was sucking oil right in through the intake.
Right. So she got it back home, and the only light that was on was check engine light. But if she'd have said, well, it's running fine, it's burning a little oil, but it's running fine, she could have destroyed that motor.
She could have run it out of oil, or she would have just fouled the spark plug so bad
that it wouldn't start.
It would have just stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that it was just a check engine light.
Right. But it's crazy because it was just a PCV valve.
Right.
Which, back in the day was a little valve that you would stick in a valve cover, right? A little hose going to it. Nowadays, it's not so anymore. There's not the little valve that, you'd shake and hear it rattle. Oh, it's still good, and you put it back in your engine. Those days are gone.
The amazing thing about this auto repair was the parts for this auto repair were less than $100.
Yeah.
The auto repair was $600+ because of with the way they do these cars now, the stuff you have to unhook, and the things you got to take off, the things you got to move out of the way, the labor was over $500. And that's not the mechanic's fault. That's how the design was for this car.
Yeah. Yep.
And do you get people tell you that they want to talk to you all the time about how's the labor this much?
Yeah. Well, sometimes most of all of our customers, there's such a big trust factor,
right,
that they just know that we're not going to do that to them. But
and it's all timed out now. You can look it up and know.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. This is a 3.5-hour job. This is a 6-hour job. It's an hour and 15-minute job.
It's all. That's what keeps us honest.
Right. Anybody can look it up, and you can look it up on the internet anywhere.
Right.
But is that the way? Is that how we're going to continue from now on? Is that they're going to put so much in so little space that you're going to have to take this off and move that and take that off, drop this.
You know, there's in some of the new. I have a 2015 Tahoe.
Right.
That's what I drive every day, and the transmission computer is inside the transmission.
Hold on. So you got to open the transmission
Yeah,
casing to get to the computer?
Yeah, you got to get inside. It's inside the valve body. It's inside the transmission.
Well, that can't be an easy fix.
It's not. It's not. And actually, Chrysler done it years and years ago. They've had part of their electronics on the side of the transmissions and stuff like that. And it gets crazy, but yet a lot of times it kind of makes sense when you when you watch. Okay, so I've been in this since its conception. So it was conceived in 1980 and a half.
And you worked at the big car dealers and everything on their floor in their shop, so you know when they started designing these right away.
Oh yeah, I was there. The day that these things came out, I was involved.
And it's back then it was what, 10% computer, 90% motor.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was,
and now it's 100% computer.
Well, actually, in the beginning, you could have removed the computer out, and the car would still run.
Right.
It wouldn't run to its best ability. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have run full rich and stuff like that. But you could have today.
Neat.
Yeah, ain't happening.
You may take the motor out and still the car will still run. But
you ain't taking the computer out.
Did you see the president? Like a week and a half ago, not when he threatened a reporter, but he did threaten a reporter to run her over if she tried to ask another question. But which they'd have put Donald Trump under the jail if he'd have done that. But that's neither here nor there.
I was about to say, Tom, did you see the president last week?
No.
I thought he's in Florida, right?
No, I'm not talking about president.
All right.
I'm not talking about president of Florida.
Okay.
But Ford rolled out their first all electric F-150.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And they took off like a speed demon.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, can I see what happened 3 minutes down the road?
Well, probably 3 minutes down the road, it probably was still going okay. But, you know, president out of the picture here, okay? Because
these companies are all saying they're going, GM, Ford, all of a sudden, by 2030, 2035, they're going to go all electric in every vehicle.
Volvo, a couple years ago, said that in 2022,
right,
they're not going to make it.
Right,
they're not going to make it. But that was their intent. So this is the way they're going to go. They're going to go this way.
My question is, and I don't know if you can answer this. I don't know if anybody can answer this. I know that I can go to a gas pump, and in less than 5 minutes, unless they have bad filters, and it takes about 7 minutes. But in less than 5 minutes, I can go from an empty tank of gas to 20 gallons full and back on the road.
Yep.
Right now, I know that you drive a battery-operated Tesla for 350 miles, its distance. You got to shut it down for 6 hours so it recharges. How are they going to come up with a battery and a resource that I can charge and be on my way again in less than 5 minutes?
Okay, so I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that okay, so we look at it from this perspective. Like, okay, so I have a 2015 Tahoe. I purchased my car. Mm-hmm. I own the car.
What happens when gas goes away?
Well, okay, there's a $64,000 question, and I'm telling you, and in Ocala, right where we live, there's a $4 million gas station being built on every corner in Ocala.
Every corner.
And those things are $4 million worth.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to all them when there's no gas left in 10 years?
I know it happened when no gas was here in the mid-'70s. Service stations went out of business.
Yeah.
I know 5 Sunoco's in Jacksonville that a family went from being a well-to-do upper-middle-class family to eating government cheese.
Yeah, yeah.
The family was, the Schmitz family, my family.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know what happens when you got no gas.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. So, I mean, these guys, I look at it like this. These guys are putting up all these racetracks and Wawas and all. They have to be smarter than me. I just got a little garage in Ocala, Florida.
Right.
Somebody's smarter than me in all this deal. But yet they're spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to build.
Are they going to make those back in 20 years? I mean, not 20 years. Excuse me. In 14 years.
Okay.
Because that's when everybody says they're going electric.
Yeah.
14 years from now.
Okay. So what's going to change? Something's going to change. Something's going to give. I think we're going to end up changing the way we get from point A to point B. I get up in the morning, I get in my car, I crank it up, and I go to work. It's my car. I get
Right.
there. So I think, this is just me, I think that this whole COVID thing, if it did one thing, it taught me this. It taught me this, that what we think is normal can change in a moment.
In a flash.
In a flash. Okay, that's what I have learned in this whole COVID
The world
thing.
changed for me. The world changed as I knew it at about 4:17 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day, 2020. I was on the 16th, 15th hole at Muni, and a flash came across my phone. Governor DeSantis to close the state at 5 p.m. today. That's a flash.
And what happened? And the next day, we started living our new normal.
Right. We started living our new normal that afternoon.
Yeah, that afternoon.
Especially if you were in the restaurant and bar industry
yeah.
where you were closed down on one
Yeah.
of the biggest party days at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You were told, sorry about your luck, you ain't making no money today.
Yep. And there you and so this whole car thing,
They may be able to do it in a flash. You never know.
they're just going to do it, and it's done.
And then that gets in the whole discussion about, well, now who controls all the precious metals that run these computers and these battery-operated cars? China. And, now this whole, before we were worried about mining oil. And you see all these pictures, and I know people don't want to get into this. You see these pictures of the pipeline, and they're going through forest and everything. They're all green and everything. Then you look at these precious metal mines where they've just raped the earth. And the precious metal mines the earth's being raped so they can make these electric cars where the pipelines are coming through and there's still grass and trees and animals.
Yep.
Which is better? Because precious metal, within the next 10 to 15 years, you'd think people talk about it now. They're just doing 60-minute articles on it and articles in the magazines. I promise you, within the next 10 to 15 years, precious metals will become much more
Scarce.
and will become much more important than fossil fuel.
Yeah.
And the scarcity of them will become much more important. Because, by the way, precious metals, they don't get made as quick as fossil fuel. You talk about non-reusable entity, precious metals. Oil, and people go, well, oil's you can't reproduce. Liars. Yeah, the dinosaur, okay. Yeah, but anything that rottens and goes into the ground, the pressure of the earth it eventually turns it into fossil fuel.
Right.
So things that died 100 years ago, 200 years ago,
Are in the process.
are in the process of being
Right.
fossil fuel.
That's right.
It is a renewable fuel
Right.
source. So if you say it's not, you're a liar.
Right. No, that's right.
But
That's
precious metals,
right.
how renewable are they?
I think what we have is what we have, right?
And they're in everything. They're in your phones. They're in
I
your
know.
TVs. They're in your microwaves. They're in your cars and trucks.
All throughout computers. Palladium, one of the most expensive, precious of the metals,
Yeah,
is all in catalytic converters.
right.
Now, say what's going to happen when we don't need catalytic converters anymore?
Oh. I don't know what's going on behind me. I got a finger towards my head. We didn't see any callers. Okay, well, just stay on the line long enough for us to see you. That's all I can tell you. Stop tattletelling to Joe.
Or call back.
622-9622 is the number to call. Yeah, get my wrist slapped right here in the middle of the show. It's probably Hugh. See, I knew who it was. I had to call. I had to get on him. Hugh, call us back, 622-9622 if you got a question for Matt Gibbs. But, yeah, that's the thing nobody's talking about. They talk about how to go in electric and everything. Nobody's talking about the precious metals it's going to take
That's right.
to go electric.
That's right.
And I mean, what probably, if I had to guess on an Earth with 7 billion people, yeah, I don't see it says it's coming through, but I don't see it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Hi, you're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Sonny.
You know, we talk about the cars and this, that, and the other thing. How about our tractors, or what our farmers use? The last time I was up north and was on a farm, the tractor that this particular farmer was using, I mean, he had other equipment also. He had like a harvesters and all that. But the tractor was like a 50-year-old tractor. It was a Ford tractor. And you know, you like eating? Well, tell the farmer you got to have an electric tractor. I know these guys use their tractors from before sunrise until after sunset. And if it isn't plowing, it's tilling or just hauling a trailer full of hay to put out in the field for the cows or to eat, or the sheep or whatever. And still, you know, they don't have time to charge this thing up for 8 hours. It's on the go.
That's a good point, Sonny. Thanks for the call. Got another call coming in. And he's right. As we're changing as the world, like you said, it can change in a flash. There's a lot of industries that aren't car and truck industries, farm industries. They still use fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hey, you.
I had a little trouble getting in, but we got it made now. See, you're talking about electric cars before, and as a NASCAR fan, what's the future? Is it going to be a Daytona 500 electric car race? I mean, half the fun of racing is the engine noise.
Well, Hugh, radio-controlled cars already do that.
Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll do like they're doing at all the sporting events. They pipe in the crowd noise.
And the car noise.
So you'll
pipe
still
in the
get,
the car noise.
You'll get the car noise. They'll just play it over the speakers.
Well, I don't know. That ain't going to be the same. I think it's. I just can't see an all electric NASCAR race. It just and then these batteries, when they catch on fire, it takes forever to put them out. Half the race is going to be with the fire department.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. It doesn't look good.
Thanks for the call, Hugh. Got another call on the other line. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Sunrise Auto. Sunrise Auto.
Turn your radio down.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Okie doke. I predict at some point someone's going to come out with an aftermarket axle generator for these all-electric cars, so that the battery will recharge as you drive it. Ingenuity will take care of itself.
Ingenuity is the mother of invention.
The concept should be there. It's just a matter of who comes up with it.
Thanks for the call, Jim. And that is maybe one of the ways they do it is they use the centrifugal force of the car moving to then recharge the battery that's causing the car to move.
Well, I've had a thought about this whole thing is like, so in the front grill area, on each side, right side, left side, what if you had like a
turbines,
and the force of the car driving down the road is spinning the
turbines, creating energy.
Yeah, just turning a generator.
Matt Gibbs, why don't you invent that, and then you can get out of the car mechanic business?
Well, yeah, I think
if you patent that, Matt Gibbs is uber wealthy. Zuckerberg ain't got nothing on you. You patent that.
See, but now there's 13 other people that know all about it now.
That are out
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it together.
They're out in their garage right now.
Come on.
With Foghorn Leghorn's little girlfriend's little son with his glasses. We're not hitting the baseball anymore, boy. Don't worry about hitting that baseball, boy. Now we got to figure out turbines.
Let's go. That's it.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Hi, this is Sonny again. What about two batteries in the car? I mean, if they're expensive to begin with, what's another battery in there? You get what I'm drifting, and the one battery could be being recharged while you're operating off the original battery.
Well, okay.
You put solar panels in the roof or wind turbines or whatever. I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sonny.
Well, actually, like Toyota, like the Priuses, they're electric. They're hybrids, so they're electric and gas. Those batteries are 24. There's actually 24 batteries. So there's 2 batteries per cell, right? So there's 12 cells. So there's 24 batteries.
And the gas motor charges those batteries. Then when those batteries are charged up, they run the car until they're not charged up, and the gas motor takes over.
Or when it goes to an idle, the electric motor, the gas engine shuts off, the electric motor takes over, and then if you're cruising along, I just did a trip to Tennessee in my car, and I don't have a hybrid, but I have it to where it runs on 8 cylinders and also 4 cylinders.
Right.
I get 25 miles to the gallon out of my Tahoe
On 4 cylinders.
on 4 cylinders.
Right. Well, people used to say, if you want to save gas, my dad used to say, if you want to save gas, get a Holley carburetor. 4-barrel Holley carburetor. And never open the back 2 barrels, because the front 2 barrels had such small little pinholes that you wouldn't use much gas at all. He said the problem was, once you stepped in that Holley carburetor and opened those 2 back barrels, well, then you're getting like 8 gallons to the mile.
Yeah. That's right.
But it's the same concept.
Yeah, it is.
It's you're using the smaller engine as
so
opposed to V8.
So in my world, I see that we have the technology to make a gas engine get way more gas mileage, but that's not what they want. They want to do away with the carbon footprint of what a gasoline engine does. And here we are.
See, don't get me started.
I won't.
Wait, we can't because this show's over. Matt, tell people where they can find you.
You can give me a call at 352-690-1993 or come visit us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street right here in Ocala.
And that's Sunrise, S-O-N. The sun has risen.
That's right.
Matt Gibbs, thanks, Matt. See you
Thanks,
next
sir.
week.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back with American Moms, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The State Department has warned us citizens not to travel to Japan, blaming the growing risk of COVID-19 just 2 months before the Tokyo Olympics are due to open. Japan has suffered a 4th wave of infections and has led to states of emergency in Tokyo, Osaka, and 8 other regions across the nation. A hand recount of ballots cast in Arizona's Maricopa County resumed Monday after a week-long hiatus. The review won't change the outcome of the election, but some believe it will turn up evidence of fraud. Arizona election administrators say the 2020 election was conducted well and say this is a far-fetched conspiracy theory. More than 500 Democratic staffers and former members of President Biden's campaign team have signed an open letter calling for the president to unequivocally condemn Israel amid the recent conflict with Hamas. Thanks for listening. We're USA Radio News.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Our homegrown small business tries to help people just like us. That's why we design and test our handmade products with great care before we introduce them to the public. You can easily find Sunny Bay heating pads on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search for Sunny Bay heating pads.
For quite some time now. Do we guarantee Relief Factor is going to lower or eliminate your occasional aches and pains? No.